Bon, ils sont tellement habitués. Pas... Alors, c'est le guide qui survit. D'accord, mais... Ah bon,
Untitled. Agapano, agapano, sorry. This is those yan. Usay gana. Maybe MC naman.
Sandali na hargahin. Yan. Apa?
Hello. What a beautiful morning we have today. And it's exciting to see people exchange presently for a long time. I'm sure you've not met in a long while. And so it makes sense you connect more physically. After several meetings virtually, you are now here together. To kickstart our program for today, we want to invite our special guest to the top seat. And not in any particular order. We first want to invite Madam Awa Indiayasek, the UN Women Special Representative to the AU and ECA, to please come upstairs. With that welcome, we follow with Ms. Caroline Gaju from ITU Regional Office for Africa Program Officer. We then continue with the Deputy Head of Mission, Deputy Permanent Representative for African Union, IGAD, and UNECA, in the person of Mr. Jean Franco Pamement. You're welcome, please. Then we continue with Dr. Tapiwa Ukwizi Nyansula Ruwamanu from Head of Mission, Gender Policy Development, AUWGYD, representing also Madam Sise Mariama Mohammed of Director Health, Humanitarian and Social Development Department of the AUC. Representing UNESCO is Mr. Salusal, who we also want to have upstage. It's definitely an honor to have 11 countries represented here today. And we definitely want to have a word of welcome by just one person in the local language in the various countries to our top seated officers. Let's use the order. So again, not in any particular order. We just want welcome. We will do the introduction later. So we just need welcome from each of the countries. We would definitely want to begin with Tanzania. We want to hear your welcome.
Yes, habari, this is just a greeting. Habari, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We do Rwanda, please.
Good morning. Murakazaneza.
Thank you very much. Senegal, we move to Senegal now.
Assalamu alaikum. Ñu ngi leen di nuyu. Kontaan torop teew fi tey ci activité bi. Jërëjëf. Merci.
Thank you very much. We now do Mozambique. Nilza, can you help us, please?
Sim, bom dia a todos. Meu nome é Nilsa Zibano Ribeiro, sou de Moçambique. Estou acompanhada também de pontos focais representantes do governo. Muito obrigada.
Obrigado. Thank you. We move into Mali. Thank you, Mali.
Anu soma, au bisimila.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And we move to South Africa, please. Sia?
Sanibonani Dumelang Tobela Kuyemore.
Thank you very much. We now do Burundi.
Amahoro mwese turabahaye ikaze mwakira indamutso z'Uburundi. Greetings all and greetings from Burundi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's do Niger, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Da sunan duka 'yan uwa na Niger muna yi muku barka da zuwa.
Thank you very much. Let's do Kenya.
Our colleagues from Tanzania as well, we have the same greeting. Habari za asubuhi, meaning good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. DRC, can we have Hilary do that for us, please? DRC? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm using Lingala. They say Mbote. And to say welcome, they say Boye Malam.
Thank you very much. Ethiopia? Okay. I think we have somebody there who could do for Ethiopia, please. Hi, what a beautiful way to have all African welcomers in their language. It's so nice thing to be together today. But with that said, we want to recognize in our presence, how can that happen? No, that is a crime. To atone for my crime, please, we welcome the greetings from Rwanda, from Uganda. Always last, always the best. Thank you very much. We want to recognize in the presence of us today the ambassador representatives from Burundi and also from Mali. It's definitely an honor to have you, sir. Thank you very much. At this point in time, we want to invite Madam Awa Ndiaye-Sek, representing UN Women Special Representative to the AU and ECA, to have a welcome remarks from her.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Distinguished representatives of the permanent missions of the African Union member states present here, and I would like to recognize Burundi, Mali, South Africa, Dr. Tapiwa Nyasulu Weye Mamu, representing the African Union Department of Women, Gender and Youth Directorate and Department of Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development. Monsieur Jean-François Parmentier, Deputy Head of Mission and Deputy Permanent Representative of Belgium to the African Union, IGAD and UNECA. Ms. Caroline Gaju, representative of ITU Regional Office for Africa. Mr. Jean-Paul Adam, representative of UNECA. Partners and allies from governments, private sector, colleagues from the African Union and United Nations system, African Girls Can Code beneficiaries, distinguished partners present here and following us virtually, all protocol observed. Good morning, salam alaikum, habari, amahoro, salam. On behalf of UN Women, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to this first African Girls Can Code Initiative, AGCCI, Technical Focal Points Forum, bringing together over 30 experts from 11 African Union member states, representatives of the permanent missions based in Addis Ababa, representative of course, the permanent mission to AU, based in Addis Ababa, UN system and experts in the field, including from the private sector. It is also a great privilege for us to co-host the forum with the African Union and with the very rewarding collaborations with our sister UN agencies. And I would like here to recognize the ITU, UNECA, UNICEF, and UNESCO. This forum is a testament of the unequivocal commitment of the partners of the initiative to the grand vision the AGCCI espouses, which is to advance the rights and potential of girls in ICT and STEM, science, technology, education, art, and mathematics as levers for building the Africa we want, achieving the African development, peace, and integration agenda. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the norms and principles of gender equality and non-discrimination are at the core of all fundamental human rights treaties. This week, as we gather under the umbrella of the AGCCI, we are afforded with the opportunity to discuss and recommit to take action on the key priorities to advance the human rights of girls, including to education, as a critical strategy in the fight against harmful practices. Girls' exclusion from education, especially in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, and participation intersects with other issues such as discriminatory patterns in ownership and exploitation of land, inheritance, maternal mortality and morbidity, employment, and the feminization of poverty, among others. As many studies have shown, in the era of the fourth industrial revolution, competency in STEM is critical for professionals seeking global leadership in today's competitive, technologically driven economies, with the demand for global leaders with STEM background projected to increase by 62% in 2020. Advancing the women and girls' access to opportunities in science, technology, education, and math fields thus remains a critical priority, as evidence shows that 90% of profession will be totally or partially linked to digital technology. However, across Africa, only 28% of girls and women are engaged in STEM. Gender norms, stereotypes, biases, and sexual harassment emerge as key drivers of low representation of women in male-dominated STEM fields. This means that most women will remain in jobs that are likely to be replaced by technology, lower paying or less economically impactful in an increasingly technology-driven world. Therefore, closing the gender digital divide, overturning stereotypes and encouraging women and girls to use ICTs and pursue careers in technology should remain a critical priority for accelerating sustainable development. The African Girls Code is also among these flagship initiatives that UN Women, together with its partners, will continue to spearhead to bridge the technological gender divide. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, when the African Girls Can Code initiative was conceived in 2017 as a 4-year program under the co-leadership of the African Union Commission, UN Women, and ITU, it aimed at training and empowering young girls to provide them with the pathways to contribute and participate in material ways to Africa's innovation, industrialization, and growth. Since the launch in 2018, we were very successful in building knowledge of young girls from 32 member states and empowering them to pursue education and innovation in ICT through different programs. Although the emergence of COVID-19 stalled the speed at which the initiative was implemented, it also provided us with the opportunity to explore strategic partnership through multi-stakeholder dialogue mechanisms that have resulted in the creation of strategic partnership that made possible the continuation of the program under the second phase in 2022 and 2023. The Generation Equality Forum, held in Mexico and Paris in March and July 2021, created another opportunity for Africa to be involved in consultation for galvanizing partnership among governments, civil society, international organizations, and the private sectors to catalyze concrete actions to address the gender digital divide. Thus, as UN Women, we recognize that AGCCI is catalytic and not a panacea to bridge the gender gap in digitization. If we have to scale up this and similar initiatives, we urgently need to forge and nurture multi-sectoral and multi-level partnerships that aim to address not only the policy-level bottlenecks related to access to technology and finance, but also the gender-based harmful norms and practices that hinder women and girls from pursuing STEM fields. This will have to be further accompanied by sufficient investment to address the intersecting forms of discrimination that women and girls face across the continent. The mutually reinforcing collaboration we had forged with the African Union Commission and ITU has brought the first phase of program thus far. The lessons learned underline the centrality of broad-based collaboration to accelerate the objectives of the AGCCI. It is for the same reason that we have invited a diverse set of stakeholders to join the partnership, including UN agencies, the private sector, foundations, financial institutions, civil society organizations, and other advocates to advance the objectives and the objectives of the initiative. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure today. It gives me today a pleasure to say again, to welcome you again to this exciting dialogue with representatives of member states, UN technical focal points, expert on the field, and more importantly, the young girls in ICT, to hear the national level experiences, promising practices, and your proposals on strategic priorities for accelerating the mainstreaming of gender and ICT in national policies, strategies, and education curriculum. I'm confident that it will lead us to a common understanding on how we can document the lessons, disseminate them, and communicate to stakeholders as a key strategy to scale up the impact. It is my hope that in the next 2 to 5 years, we will be able to have a common narrative and the evidence on the changes we are making for the benefit of women and girls through ICTs in Africa. I do hope we will use this space to share some of the challenges, opportunities, and lessons learned that inform scale up in the context of AGCCI and other similar initiatives. Your proposal and concrete recommendations will provide inputs for the full rollout of the second phase of the initiative. We will also seek your recommitment to the partnership, and to this end, our collaboration in the remaining part of 2022 and onwards. Allow me, as I conclude, to sincerely appreciate the government of Belgium for the generous support that made the rollout of the second phase of the program and the coordination of this forum possible. And I would like you to please clap for the government of Belgium. Thank you. We also really salute the 11 member states that sent here members of the government, because we have the representative from the ministries of gender, ministries of education, and ministries of ICT. And this is an important effort from the governments of those 11 member countries to really take this work forward and to ensure that it is embedded in the policies at national level. So thank you to the 11 countries that sent here their members. Yeah, you can clap for them. I thank again the African Union for its leadership in this, and I want Dr. Tapiwa to convey our appreciation to the Commission, to the Gender Directorate, and say that we are ready to continue to work together with our other UN sister agencies to ensure that we get the objectives, that we will reach the objective that we set for ourselves. And I want you also to clap for the African Union. I would like also to say again that the coordination within the African Union means something to us. And having here UNECA, UNESCO, ITU, for us means that we are doing this work all together, and we plan to expand more this collaboration and ensure that we build enough synergy to be more effective. So thank you, colleagues from the UN agencies. And if you want to clap for them, it's also okay. And I would like also to finish by asking you to clap for yourselves. And I wish you all, and I thank my colleagues from UN Women for all the work put into this. And I wish you fruitful deliberation, warm welcome, and thank you again for your attention. You did not clap enough.
Definitely, so she did a bigger one. So the fact is, we have a very warm welcome from our very host, and Madam Awa India Sek, that was powerful. Thank you very much, pushing us into the stream of things. But at this point in time, we do want to recognize that we have in our presence UNICEF, also a key partner to the process, here represented at the back. Thank you very much, UNICEF. We also have Madam Miharikisto Tamru from Women Social Affairs Head at the Ministry of Education, Ethiopia. We also have online a representative of AU CFA, Ms. Moni Yanke, also joining us virtually. Just to keep you aware, we are live on YouTube and we are being heard across. So African Girls, ministries, and everybody are listening to us. We are at this point happy to invite Madame Caroline Gaju of ITU Regional Office for Africa Program Office to give us a welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Excellencies, distinguished participants, partners, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. First, please allow me to apologize on behalf of the ITU General Director for Africa, Ms. Anne Rachel Ine, for her absence at this event. She's out of the country participating at the African members' last preparatory meeting for the ITU plenipotentiary that will take place from the 26th of September to 14th of October this year. She's wholeheartedly with us in this activity and sends her greetings to all colleagues and partners. I read these remarks on her behalf. It is my great pleasure to join you today in the planning, capacity building, and coordination retreat for the target countries in the second phase of the African Girls Concord Initiative. As we continue to combine efforts to bridge the digital gender divide and empower the young girls in our communities with the necessary skills, close coordination and engagement with stakeholders at all levels is fundamental. According to recent statistics from the ITU, 2.9 billion people are still offline in the developing world, and in Africa, the proportion of women using the internet is approximately 24%, compared to 35% of men. The African Girls Concord Initiative presents a huge opportunity for all of us to continue to work closely to bridge the gender divide, to ensure that the young girls and women are integral to the digital ecosystem and can contribute to building the digital transformation that we want to see in the Africa region. As we embark on the second phase of the initiative, it is essential that the young girls are adequately equipped with both technical skills as well as soft skills to enable them to actively participate in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics activities, and at the same time, create more awareness around subjects that impact them in their day-to-day activities, such as gender equality, protection against sexual exploitation and abuse, economic empowerment, among others. With consideration of the different local contexts of our member states, it is important that the unique aspects are taken into account, especially in terms of developing tailored and customized content to suit the different age brackets of the young girls, both below and above 18 years of age. In order to foster sustainability of the initiative, innovation, as well as continuous learning, both during and after the coding camps, ITU proposed to have the online platform hosted on the ITU Academy, which provides increased capacity and more functionalities, as well as a sustainable approach to support the scale-up activities of the initiative. Furthermore, mainstreaming of gender and coding in national curricula is a fundamental component of the activities. This will adequately prepare the young girls for future employment opportunities, to pursue ICT-related careers, and for inclusiveness in the digital sector. A sustainable and impactful change can only be realized through such activities to transform the lives of both today's generation and future generations. I would like to thank all representatives from our member states and from the different institutions who have joined us today. We look forward to engaging with all of you closely to guide and support the successful implementation of the second phase of this initiative. This will involve coordination, reporting on progress, sharing of experiences and lessons learned, monitoring and evaluation in collaboration with all stakeholders to ensure maximum impact at national level and across the region. As we commence this retreat today, I encourage all stakeholders to continue to share lessons learned and good practices to bridge the digital gender divide, to continue to build partnerships that are crucial in fostering collaboration through joint activities that will empower the young girls and women to actively and fully engage in the digital ecosystem. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the African Union Commission, our UN partners, UN Women, UNECA, UNICEF, UNESCO, and all our partners, and very grateful indeed for the fantastic support from the government of Belgium for the collaboration to empower young girls and women through the African Girls Can Code initiative and other related activities. IT remains committed through such initiatives to build and strengthen multi-stakeholder partnerships, to develop digital skills, to strengthen digital infrastructure, to engage young girls and women in the ICT sector, to bridge the digital gender divide and enable meaningful connectivity for all in a safe manner. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I wish you all fruitful deliberations.
That was very warm, indeed very warm from International Telecommunication Union, and very kind words. We want to invite Mr. Gianfranco Permanente, Deputy Head of Mission, Deputy Permanent Representative to the African Union, AGID, and the UNECA.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Gender equality, women empowerment, and human rights of women and girls are long-standing priorities of Belgium in its internal and external policies, particularly in the sectors of digitalization and youth. After the success of the first phase of the African Girls Can Code initiative, my country has decided to support the second phase of the initiative with an earmarked contribution of 1.2 million euros. Thank you. Belgium is therefore pleased to participate in this retreat and wishes to reiterate its support to all those trying to reduce the digital gender gap. Research has shown that 90% of future jobs will require ICT skills, and some 2 million new jobs will be created in the computer, mathematical, architecture, and engineering fields. Unfortunately, as in many areas, a large majority of women and girls continue to face unequal access to education and skills development and face barriers to securing decent employment and opportunities to thrive as entrepreneurs. As UN Women Executive Director Sami Bahous said, women and girls represent one of the most powerful solutions to crisis prevention and sustainable development. Belgium is convinced that investing in young women's economic empowerment and skills development is one of the most urgent and effective means to drive progress on gender equality, poverty eradication, and inclusive economic growth. Financing gender equality and women and girls empowerment must be both a means and an end in itself. Belgium is and will remain a reliable partner on which UN Women and you all can rely, and a strong supporter of gender equality. Achieving SDG 5 is not only the business of UN Women, but the responsibility of us all. At a time when we are facing many crises and the resurgence of a movement against any progress on gender equality, Belgium welcomes the fact that this initiative is the result of a joint effort involving a multitude of partners. Only together can we overcome the obstacles and achieve gender equality. The African Girls Can Code initiative is fully in line with the wish of the Belgian Minister of Development Cooperation, Miriam Kitir, to make girls and women economically independent by promoting women's entrepreneurship, including digital entrepreneurship, and giving them equal access to tools, trainings, and income. In this way, this initiative addresses gender stereotypes and toxic masculinities that prevent women and girls' empowerment and the full exercise of their rights. This planning, capacity building, and coordination retreat constitutes the perfect opportunity for all of us to exchange some best practices and learn from the previous phase in order to be more effective and to make this second phase a success. We wish all participants an excellent retreat and we hope that it will be fruitful and productive. I thank you very much for your attention.
With those thrilling welcome from Mr. Jean Franco Permante, we definitely want to thank him for those kind words, and especially the money side set us clapping. Thank you very much. But at this point in time, we want to go more hybrid, and we are going all the way to Ouagadougou to have Miss Yanke Ouattara Simoni, who will have some statements, at least from the girls and the young women's side of things. Over to you, Madam Simoni Yanke Ouattara.
Good morning, moderator, Your Excellencies of the AU member states, UN agencies, Embassy of Belgium, colleagues from the AUC Department, development partners, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. My warm greeting on behalf of Dr. Rita Bissonot, the head of the AUCFA, and on behalf of the AUC Department of Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation. I would like to say that the AUCFA has a specialized institution of the African Union under the Department of Education, Science, and Technology, is proud to be a partner to this significant and timely initiative in line with our mandate of promoting and advocating for girls' education within the AU member states. The AU CFR is in Strategic Plan 21-2025 recognized that the empowerment of African girls and women should comprise education and training systems that include, of course, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. In light of the increasing fragility, conflict, and violence context and challenges presented by COVID-19 in education within Africa, there is an urgent need to build the resilience of girls and women through STEAM. Women make up less than 30% of the workforce in science, technology, engineering, and math, and men vastly outnumber women majoring in most STEM fields in college. The gender gaps are particularly high in some of the fastest growing and highest paid jobs of the future, like computer science and engineering. This is a result of girls and women being systematically tracked away from science and math throughout the education, limiting the access, preparation, and opportunities to go into this field as adults. In a continent where girls and women make up 50% of the population, girls and young women must be encouraged and supported to pursue studies in fields that equip them to solve the complex problems Africa faces, including science, ICT, and engineering. The AUCFA, through its program, advocates for gender equality in education and is supporting AU member states to adopt policies that not only encourage girls' retention in school, but also place emphasis on ensuring girls and young women develop STEAM and ICT skills. This is in line, of course, with the African Union Agenda 2063, which articulates that digital skills and ICT are critical 21st century skills for the future that will unlock economic and social access, social development across Africa. We know why we need girls to be engaged and pursue STEAM. But how do we get the girls motivated to study related fields? By adopting gender intelligence and gender responsive methods of teaching and curricula, eliminating harmful biases and gender stereotypes that socialize girls to think STEM is for boys or men, and increasing investment in girls' education in STEM. The internet must also be made affordable and accessible to all. This AGCCI retreat allow us to not only reflect on how our continent has been responding to the demand of the fourth industrial revolution on education system, but to also map up holistic and multisectoral gender responsive methods to ensure all African children are equipped and empowered to navigate the future job market. We look forward to engaging participants during this retreat on issues that include the professional development of teachers to address implicit and systematic biases to raise awareness about girls, math, technology, engineering, and sales abilities, tracking and high-stakes assessment in early grades that reinforce biases and stereotypes, and how best our AU member states can collaborate and partner to transform how education, particularly STEM education, is delivered, especially to girls and young women. To conclude, let me share with you, ladies and gentlemen, an interesting fact that debunk the biggest stereotype in coding, which is coding is a man's field. The first code in the world was written by Ada Lovelace, a woman. She wrote a code to calculate the binary sequences of numbers for analytical engine proposed by mathematician Charles Babbage. Coding is a language that should be learned by all without bias. The future of the world, including that of Africa, is being built on technology, and girls who are learning how to code from a young age are more certainly going to be pioneers of the future. I thank you et je vous remercie.
Thank you very much for those very good words for everybody, putting us in perspective once again. We, at this point in time, want to hear from AUC, and we have Dr. Tapiwa, which is Nyansula Reyamanu. Madam, Head of Division Gender Policy and Development AUC, you're welcome.
Good morning once again.
We, at this point in time, want to hear from AUC, and we have Dr. Tapiwa, which is Nyansula Reyamanu. Madam, Head of Division Gender Policy and Development AUC, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you once again. Good morning once again.
We, at this point in time, want to hear from AUC, and we have Dr. Tapiwa, which is Nyansula Reyamanu. Madam, Head of Division Gender Policy and Development AUC, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you once. Okay. Thank you so much. It was good listening to my own voice as well as that of the moderator. Thanks, and good morning, and of course, welcome once again. Madam Awan Diaisek, UN Women Special Representative to the African Union, as well as UNECA. Ms. Caroline Gaju, ITU Regional Officer for African Program Officer. Jean-François Parmentier, I hope I'm pronouncing it in a French way. Deputy Head of Mission of Belgium. Jean-Paul Adam, Director for Technology at UNECA. Ms. Tamara from the Ministry of Education here in Ethiopia of the Women's Social Affairs Division, Mr. Saliu Sa, Senior Program Coordinator of UNESCO, dear experts from our member states represented here, dear delegates, colleagues, and guests, welcome once again. I bring you warm greetings from His Excellency, the Chairperson of the African Union, Mr. Musa Faki Mahamat, as well as my Acting Director at the Women, Gender and Youth Directorate, Ms. Prudence Kwenya, and also Madam Sise, Director at the Department of Health, Humanitarian and Social Development of the African Union Commission. It is my utmost pleasure to welcome you all into the African Girls Can Code Initiative Phase 2 Resource Team Retreat, where we will be jointly planning, building capacity, and coordinating with member state actors participating in the second phase of the initiative. The African Girls Can Code is a significant initiative at the African Union as it enhances the participation of young women and girls in the STEM sector with relevant and in-demand skills. And as my esteemed colleagues have mentioned earlier, it is vital to engage young women and girls into the core skills that are already in demand in the upcoming fourth industrial revolution. The African youth and women are Africa's biggest resources and assets, and the growing forces bring about immense opportunities for the continent's development. Esteemed delegates, colleagues, and guests, the implementation and use of technology, industrial technologies by various companies and countries encompasses a promise of a new industrial revolution, one that marries advanced manufacturing techniques with the Internet of Things to create manufacturing systems that are not only interconnected, but communicate, analyze, and use information to drive further intelligent action back in the physical world. Our continent is avidly pushing for industrialization, and it is believed that the upcoming change is more inclusive, sustainable, and transformative initiative for its development. Technology, therefore, connects us across borders, and we want Africa to be at the forefront of the industrial revolution. A first step for such transformation is in pushing for digital literacy for all, ensuring that we build a generation of technically equipped youth that will continue to innovate, enterprise, and promote development in the continent. The African Union, through the Women, Gender, and Youth Directorate that I represent here, ensures that the parity agenda, that is 50-50 representation, is deeply entrenched in all areas of the Commission, the AU organs, regional economic communities, and member states. In the Directorate, it does this through the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Unit, as well as the Country Acceleration Growth Program, which are tasked with pushing the narrative and engaging with youth with the opportunities in scale. On women, gender, and development, we have been avidly pushing for this through the implementation of our policy documents and their continued monitoring and evaluation through our scorecards and capacity building activities across the continent. Furthermore, His Excellency Monique Sazabagwana, our Deputy Chairperson at the African Union, alongside with His Excellency, the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa, who's the African Union champion on gender and development issues, recently launched a flagship initiative that was done last Friday in Accra, Ghana, the African Union Women and Youth
Financial and Economic Inclusion, YFA 2030, which focuses at its core on promoting financial and economic inclusion for African women and youth. On one part, by ensuring that young girls and women are equipped with the necessary skills and opportunities to climb the ladder of change, the ladder that sees them possess cash, accumulate it, save it, and ensure themselves as they fulfill their dreams. I would like to further add that girls and young women continue to be subjected to different forms of gender discrimination, among which are harmful practices such as child marriages and female genital mutilation. Within the AU, led by the Department of Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, we have been working to accelerate an end to these harmful practices through policies and strategies for the AU campaign to end child marriage and Salima initiative to end FGM. One of the main components of these campaigns has been to work with different stakeholders, including member states, girls and young women, religious and traditional leaders, local civil society organizations based at community level, development partners, among others, to push forward the need to invest in all areas of girls' education as community builders and produce members of society. It is against this backdrop that I commend this retreat, which will allow us to mainstream and further entrench this initiative within our national systems and our organizations. I look forward to the sessions where we will ideate and conceptualize ways in which we will deeply entrench gender, ICT, and coding into national curricula, especially learning from your experiences and insight in doing so, as well as in the finalization of a roadmap for the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation mechanisms of the AGCCI rollout of the second phase. I sincerely hope that through this meeting, we will have an increased coordination and collaborative working culture among us ourselves. Allow me to thank the UN Women, our sister organization within the UN system, led by Madam Awa with your leadership and the team, as well as UNESCO, UNECA, UNICEF, INTU, for your continued collaboration and support that you render to us. I'll be feeling within my duty to thank the government and the people of Belgium for the support that you continue giving us at the African Union, as well as our member states across the continent, for the support that we receive, as well as you continue to do so. We welcome the 1.2 million that you've announced here, but we know that Africa and the population of the young women and girls is huge. We'll be coming to knock at your door alongside with Madam Awa, seeking for more support for that. But this is tremendous. We really appreciate that. But we know that you're a strong supporter, and we will definitely be coming back for that, so that at the capital in Brussels, they can, do some extra for that. But thank you so much for that. Of course, at this point in time, let me wish you a pleasant stay in this political capital of the African Union here in Addis Ababa. Please forgive us with the cold rains that you've experienced, but it's a blessing, and we want you to enjoy the blessings that we've been having here in Addis Ababa. So with this, I say thank you so much. Asante sana, shukran, obrigada.
All the speeches, warm and warm and warm and warm. Thank you all very much so far. We want to get to Mr. Jean-Paul Adam from United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Director of Technology, Climate Change and Natural Resources Management, to have a word from him statement.
Thank you very much, moderator. And in the spirit of inclusion, allow me to say good morning also in my own language. I'm from Seychelles. So bonjour qui dit. This is our Creole. So I'm adding that to the mix. And so thank you very much. And I think it was very exciting for us to hear all of the countries participating in all of the languages. Vos Excellences, les ambassadeurs, le chef de mission, Ms. Awa Ndaisiek, the UN Women Special Representative, the representative of ITU, the representatives of the African Union, Dr. Tapiwa, Ms. Yanke Watara, and all the partners that have made this initiative possible. It's such a great pleasure for ECA to also be part of this team and to follow on from a conversation that many of the panelists had before. Nice to see you all again. And I think it's important for us to say that because we face so many crises at the moment. We are emerging from the COVID-19 pandemic. There is a global cost of living crisis associated with the war in Ukraine, and we are in the midst of a climate crisis. All of these crises together mean that we must adopt strategies that allow us to change the modalities of development on the continent. And perhaps none other offer more promise than investing in digital technologies. We are all aware of the gap that exists, in particular, the gender gap, which is in Africa, unfortunately, as high as 10%. I will not go into too much detail on those statistics. I think we've heard so much about it, but bridging that gap will perhaps be one of the single most important interventions that can put us back on track to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and creating a new era of prosperity, moving beyond crisis. The ECA is very honored to be able to be supporting the African Girls Can Code initiative. And we have done so through the flagship initiative, but also by having coding initiatives often associated with other events that we have held, including the African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development, as well as the Commission of African Ministers of Finance of the ECA, which was held in Dakar in May of this year. And at all of these events, we have aimed to organize coding camps where we are involving young women and girls. We are also investing in the development of STEM, and therefore, through this investment in STEM education, ensuring that there is digital skills and that coding is actually included in curricula across the continent. At the African Regional Forum, which was held in Kigali in March of this year, there was in the Kigali Declaration a commitment to invest in STEM education at the earliest age. And there was also a commitment by African member states to establish regional centers of excellence on STEM or rather STEAM education across the continent, starting with one that will be established in Kigali. To conclude, I think one of the most important elements that we are seeing from the African Girls Can Code initiative is that there are meaningful projects that are emerging. There are a number of girls that have participated that have invested their skills in finding real world solutions to problems that they face. One of the most marking results that I came across was when we had a coding event here in Addis Ababa. One of the participants actually developed a remote sensing technology using artificial intelligence, which would allow the detection of locusts when they arrive in the fields. I think this is an example of how the people who live in a country are the most aware of the immediate threats that face them. And with the right skills, they can deploy technology in a simple manner, which often deals with the immediate threats that they are facing. This is at the heart of the African Girls Can Code initiative, and ECA looks forward to continue to support it in all of its iterations, and particularly in this next phase, which we believe, as we emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic, can allow us to focus even more on these practical outcomes. We see the opportunity to also create synergies with other initiatives that ECA is leading, including the African Trade Exchange Platform, which is a means of connecting African businesses with intra-African markets through using online platforms, as well as global markets. And we hope that some of the alumni from the African Girls Can Code initiative can develop business ideas that can be connected to these platforms. To conclude, I would like to convey the message of Her Excellency Dr. Vera Songwe, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission of Africa, who would like to reiterate how important this initiative is, and once again, ECA's full support for the continuation. Thank you very much to all the partners, and thank you to all of those who have participated at various moments and have made this program such a success so far, and looking forward to the next phase. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much for the spice of the language, and thank you very much for the warm welcome from UNECA. That is very, very important. We love that. We want to now hear from UNESCO, International Institute for Capacity Building in Africa, represented by Mr. Salou Sal, Senior Program Coordinator, UNESCO, please.
Thank you very much, moderator. Distinguished Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. As moderator said, I'm Salou Sal, the Senior Program Coordinator of UNESCO, but I'm here on behalf of Dr. Yumiko Yokozeki, who is the Director of the UNESCO Addis Ababa Liaison Office to AU and ECA. She would have liked to attend in person this very important event, but unfortunately she is out of Addis presently. However, she strongly requested me to convey her warm greetings to all the participants and heartfelt congratulations to the organizers of this event, especially to our sister, Ms. Awanjai Sek, UN Women's Special Representative to AU and ECA. So on her behalf, I'm going to share you her statement. Ms. Awanjai Sek, UN Women's Special Representative to AU and ECA. Distinguished Excellencies, esteemed representatives of AU, ECA, UN, and other agencies, distinguished representatives of the member states, dear participants, all protocols observed. It is a great pleasure for me to address you today on behalf of UNESCO and myself. UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, is a specialized agency of the United Nations aimed at promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, science, and culture. In today's global context, marked by the digital transformation, UNESCO plays an essential and leading role in harnessing communication and information for the realization of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Africa Union's Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. UNESCO is uniquely positioned within the UN system to foster freedom of expression and media development, to promote universal access to information and knowledge, and to leverage digital technologies for peace and sustainable development with a continued focus on global priorities on gender equality and Africa. In response to the growing impact of the digital transformation on the media and information landscape, UNESCO strengthens its action to promote media and information literacy for all in line with SDG 4 on quality education. UNESCO's transversal action in this field aims to empower citizens, in particular youth, to adopt a critical mindset when engaging with information, while also building their resilience in the face of disinformation, hate speech, violent extremism, and radicalization. Distinguished Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to contribute to the realization of the African Union's Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, UNESCO strengthens efforts to promote freedom of expression and access to information, underpinned by capacity building and policy advice to bridge the persistent digital and knowledge divides. Efforts are being made to support Africa's participation in the digital transformation and to enable the continent to harness the full potential it offers. This will notably be achieved through the implementation of the flagship program entitled, I quote, Harnessing New and Emerging Technologies for Sustainable Development in Africa, including through the implementation of the recommendation of the ethics of artificial intelligence, end of quote. As part of its action to support global priority Africa and youth, UNESCO engages and empowers youth through fostering digital skills and competencies to help them navigate a changing information landscape, contribute to sustainable development in the digital age, and reduce the digital divide. Through its Youth Mobile initiative, which takes place every October since 2015, UNESCO continues to train young girls and boys to code and develop mobile applications for sustainable development, thereby fostering entrepreneurship and innovation. In addition, reinforced efforts on the African continent promote the empowerment and critical engagement of youth with media and information through strengthened media information literacy MIL. In this regard, the MIL online courses developed and jointly provided with the AU through the Pan-African Virtual and e-University platform is a good example. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in the context of the digital transformation, UNESCO continues to help bridge the digital gender divide through raising awareness and through targeted efforts to develop digital skills. It also mobilizes the transdisciplinary expertise through intersectorial action to promote gender equality in emerging and digital technologies, such as through the elimination of gender bias and artificial intelligence. UNESCO also fosters equality through its action in media and information literacy and mainstream gender equality in the area of universal access to information and multilingualism, with a specific attention to intersecting discriminations facing indigenous people and other marginalized groups. We see the African Girls Can Code initiative as an innovative approach that catalyzes the efforts in closing the digital gender gap and empowerment. Within this context, UNESCO supports this partnership in promoting the ideals, sharing knowledge, providing technical support, and strengthening partnership. To finish, I would like to say Jerejef, which is another word from a country in Africa, Senegal, because I didn't say Nangadef at the beginning. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much from UNESCO. Indeed, we have heard very important things that have kept us going, moving our thoughts and everything into the program for today. But we will miss it if from 2017, we've done a number of things and we can't tell you a story of what we've been doing. With us today, we have Miss Ruth Mulu, an alumni of the African Girls Can Code, Phase 1. We want to hear a story. I'm sure you definitely want to listen. Now, for the next 3 minutes, Miss Ruth Mulu.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, honorable peoples. I would like to say welcome. Imagine being a typical 18-year-old and giving a speech in a big program. Imagine a girl being able to stand up in front of people and speak boldly. Imagine a 19-year-old participating in a Paris Peace Forum 2019, displaying herself in the program. Imagine this typical lady in front, going to different countries to showcase herself and the very first cause for all opportunities she got. Now, again, she stand here likewise. I am Ruth Mulu. I am the first. I'm a trainer alumni. I'm a trainer alumni from the first African Girls Concord initiative and official ambassador of African Girls Concord. I was just a student, a typical one, just trying to grab any opportunity I got to explore the world. I hesitated a little when I heard it was about coding, but came anyway, and didn't regret a second of it. It was one of the magnificent 2 weeks of my life, and it introduced me to the world. It gave me a chance to link up how the world works and how I should be living accordingly. It was a 2 weeks program with different computing courses, soft skills, projects, and competition. But what came afterwards was magnificent. I was given a chance to express myself in a very different way that I thought of. Me and my friends had a meeting with the Secretary General of United Nations, His Honorable Mr. Antonio Guterres, about this spectacular program. I became an ambassador for the next 2 consecutive African Girls Concord Initiative trainings and became a part of the trainers team comprised of different African countries. This specific role was so important for me as it gave emphasis on how sharing is important and also leadership. I also got a chance to participate in the Paris Peace Forum 2019, representing the program to different officials of United Nations, European Union, and African Union officials, including different prime ministers from different countries. I also got invited to the Model United Nations in Geneva as representative with the idea of bridging the gender digital gap. And now I am standing here in front of you again. I am now a third-year medical student. Gender gap are very much entitled to most of the STEM fields, as stated before with the statistics, and as one being technology mainly. I chose this field because of my passion, but these two are integrated now too much these days. This program is moving on to be the icebreaker and play a major role in the community and their mindset. And as of for me, as technical skills are important, and as much as the soft skills are also important, and mindsets are also the major role. I found myself in the path of building both. As for the quote goes, if you don't share, you don't live. This program will help many girls like me to be fearless, courageous, confident, helping, fine, and bold. I would like to say thank you for UN Women, ITU, respective honor sponsors, and everyone involved and devoted to fulfill the dreams of many girls. I recommend everyone gathered here to give this program everything they have and change the way we live one day. And as for me, it goes, I am a coder and a doctor at the same time. So once again, I thank you for having me here.
She has exemplified STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics in display. Very wonderful. Thank you very much. Can we have a word of applause, please? The confidence of Africa is not lost, and we've seen it live here. Thank you very much once again. And at this point, at a ministerial level, we do want to hear from Ministry of Education of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. And we will have with us the Madam to give a speech on how, as a country, they have done this at a ministry level, push the African Girls Concord at a phase 1. Please, you have some 4 minutes with us.
Good morning. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to be talking to you today on this very exciting occasion, planning, capacity building, and the second phase of African Girls Concord Initiative as a Ministry of Education, Women and Social Affairs Executive. I am delighted to have an opportunity to express my testimony about the African Girls Concord Initiative, which is held here in Ethiopia. coding training for girls not only increase girls' technological skills but also narrows the gender gap in the labor market and helps women become problem solvers and beneficiaries in this field and a digital world. Accordingly, in 2011 Ethiopian calendar, 2019 European calendar, in cooperation with African Union, ITU, and UN Women, 450 girls in Ethiopia were given a 2-week coding training. The training was given in 3 centers, 150 in each center. The training was given in 3 centers. Girls are selected from government schools and they were from grade 9 to 12 who have a good achievers or good results in their studies and who cannot afford to pay the training fees for this training. The African Girls Can Code initiative training was include robotics, animation, fashion design, games, different software skills, and projects. The girls gained a wide range of knowledge and skills through this training, and since they were gathered from different schools, it created an opportunity for them to share their experience and help each other. When the girls completed the 15 days training and graduated, the work they presented was also very impressive and exciting. For example, fashions that show the culture of their countries, animations showing traditional events, and the games. It shows Ethiopian traditional games like Gabeto are mentioned. The girls from Adama Training Center in particular presented an innovation that gives information and call to prevent flooding, which is a serious problem in that area. Most of all, during the whole training, they were asked by their trainers and motivational speakers to say loudly, African girls can code, Ethiopian girls can code, and I can code. So it increased their self-confidence and made them believe that they can do anything, they can code and they design. Currently, most of the girls are in the universities. In addition, they had created an online discussion platform. This discussion platform helps them to discuss and find solution for their problems. Even when schools were closed due to COVID, the girls tried to discuss and find solution for prevent COVID-19. Among these creation, they have been able to create technologies that allow hand wash without touching and hand-free sanitizer sprays for their schools. In addition, these students also good results were obtained by providing training to students who didn't receive the training in their schools by giving the training. In order to continue these good practices, the Ministry of Education is providing computer literacy training in universities and high schools in cooperation with various partner organizations and trying to mainstream gender, ICT, and coding in the curriculum. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Ministry of Education, for how you've been doing all this. Thank you very much. Now you heard it. You heard it again, but you've not seen it. So why don't we see it together? So all we've been doing in phase 1, now let's get the visuals around it. And right after that, we will have a lovely photograph together. I'm sure you definitely want to have a photograph with Madam Awa. As we do, let's enjoy the video. We always want to experience something new. And surprising, those who type a lot on the computer, whenever they are given the opportunity to write a speech, they want to write it with their hand, surprisingly. And today, technology itself is trying to fail. For a moment, we had some words repeating. It tells us that we can do more to code and break some of these barriers. But again, we are waiting for the testimonies to come online so that we can enjoy it together. Probably as we wait for these things to be fixed, Madam from Ministry of Education, Ethiopia, at the phase one level, would you mind telling us how many ministries were involved in work? Probably that can be a learning experience for us. Was there interministerial support for the African Girls Can Code phase one? If you can spend some, oh, you are ready now. Sorry, I wanted to quiz you.
My name is Teresa Joseph John. I'm from Tanzania, East Africa. I am one of the African Girls Can Code alumni of the 2019 camp. This camp was real amazing and an experiential camp for me. This is because I never knew about coding before. This camp gave me an opportunity to know how to code, and it brought an interest for considering ICT in my career choices. So I call upon all girls in Africa to believe themselves and be able to consider ICT skills in their studies, and at the end, be able to consider taking careers in that kind of field. We have to break the gender gap in ICT in order to build the Africa we want.
Hello, my name is Mariam Said, an AGCCI alumna 2018. Both men and women should have equal access to technology, as we can all come up with creative and innovative ideas which can change our society and make it better. STEM basically surrounds us, and it comes with a lot of opportunities. It makes us more creative, it makes us more innovative, and we also gain critical thinking skills, which all help in solving problems in the society. If you're passionate about STEM, just go for it. Don't let anyone stop you. Keep following your dreams. Remember, anything you want in life, it's tangible. And never feel that you are not good enough or less worth. Just remember, all improvements came from thousands of tiny failures. And keep following your dreams. Keep on moving. You'll eventually make it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Neil Shanta, AGCCI alumni 2018. Actually, AGCCI for me is everything. Before I attended, I wasn't sure whether I can code or not. And fortunately, I was selected to attend AGCCI, which has opened my eyes, and I realized that my passion or interest falls in coding. I decided to do IT in university, which I achieved. I got a scholarship to study IT in Kenya, and I'm now a graduate from there, and I have developed several platforms or applications as a result of coding. Of course, who I am today is because of AGCI. So what I can tell all African girls is to not be afraid. Just give it a try. Let's go catch all those opportunities that are waiting for us, and show men that we can also code even better than them. Thank you so much.
Greetings. I am Patlele Malarato and I'm from South Africa. I took part in the AGCCI program in 2019. AGCCI has given me a lot of experiences, and after the program, we are always encouraged to go out and share the information that we learned to other people, most especially girls. So I did the same. I went out and I decided that I would love to establish something of my own. I decided to establish a robotics club in my school. The aim of the robotics club is to expose everyone to coding, even those who aren't taking coding subjects. So, with the help of my school principal and some teachers, I established the coding club. And it is a pleasure to know that the coding club has grown in my school, even though I'm no longer there. It has grown into something big and has influenced quite a lot of children, most especially girls. And I believe if more people do attend the AGCCI programs, then a lot of change will be done to the world. So, to any young girl out there who wants to go into the technology sector, I say go for it, and you're very much capable. Always remember that you have other Black women such as I and every woman who's in STEM behind you. Thank you.
Honestly, with those beautiful welcome remarks, the statements from the partners, and the voices you heard, I think we are really empowered to energize for a 3-day activity. If you agree with me, say, yeah, that is very wonderful. At this time, we want to have a group photograph before our dignitaries give us. This is a mark we want to leave today. And this photograph, once you go back to your country, it should signify that level of energy Madam Awa asked of you, so that when you go back to your country, you do just same. And have your children and your girls give the voice like we heard in the videos. So please come over to the front, and the one coordinating us for photograph, please, so that we can have the group photograph. Right after group photograph, we can have some networking break, and you can take snack as well, and then we come back to continue our program in earnest. Please, you are welcome to the front for us to take the group photograph.
Magong argument. Ah.
Hi everyone. Excuse me. Huh.